It felt like forever since I've actually reviewed something. But finally I've got something new and shiny to play with, and this is the Imperial Guardian 1/6 scale action figure. Finally, it's been a while, hasn't it? How are you all? I can't see you, but I bet you've all got smashing blouses on. But anyway, here he is, the Imperial Guardian. This is just a simple shipper, Tbleague logo on the side, and it's just got the Imperial Guardian logo on the front here, 1/6 scale action figure. It's just a shipper, so let's open it up and have a look actually what the box is like. Oh God, I've really missed doing some reviews, you know? It's been a while. Maybe I should do some more stuff for the channel. If you guys want to see me do other stuff, give me some suggestions on what you'd like to see me do. As long as it's clean, I don't strip for money, not anymore. And here's the packaging, and it's obviously got some cellophane wrapping around it to protect it. There's a picture of the figure, the Imperial Guardian logo. This actually looks a bit nicer than the print they had on the actual shipper. Not much on the side, just sort of a nice design there with the logo. Then there is a picture of the figure on the back here. Got the Imperial Guardian logo, lots and lots of warnings. And then there's nothing on the top, nothing on the bottom. It is quite a strong, sturdy box. It feels pretty nice. It's very angular. The edges are quite sharp. I know it sounds weird to say, but some boxes can be a little bit soft on the edges. But this is really sturdy, really strong. Even if the shipper didn't protect it, this box certainly would. Okay, and it's the usual Tbleague sort of open box. Both these flaps pull apart at the sides. They're magnetized. You pull it apart, and then you've got the figure on the inside. You've got all the parts. They tend to keep things a bit separate, and then you have to sort of semi-fit it all together yourself. But that's pretty much it. Strong, sturdy, very reliable, and your figure's probably more than likely going to get you super safe. Okay, let's open it up and actually have a look at the figure itself. And just before we get into it, I always like to show this. This is the Tbleague instruction booklet. This paragraph always makes me laugh, which is this one right here. It says, "We'd like to clarify that the body is not designed as a sex toy. This piece of PL Team's creativity is an artwork for the use of character design, cosplay, modeling, photography, painting, anatomy, or simply figure collection." What other company do you know that basically tells you when you're unboxing the figure, please don't fuck our figures? You wouldn't see NECA doing that, would you? Please, 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 when you're playing with these Ninja Turtles, please avoid trying to stick your What's-It in it. I'll tell you what though, if your lad can actually fit into one of these figures, you got bigger problems than the fact that you use this as a sex doll, I tell you. But however, let's carry on and do the review. Okay, and this is the head, and it comes separate. And I really like that. They've actually put the hair all fixed down to the sides. You can fluff it up if you really want. I'm going to try and keep this as close to the head as possible, because it looks like they've used some sort of product in there to keep it all flat, and that's by design because she's obviously got to put the helmet on, and if you want to keep that helmet on, then you better watch out for the hair. There is an ugly looking seam down the back here though. I would have preferred if the hair could come forward a little bit more and cover that up. We can futz with it and see if we can do that. Truth is though, these figures do have a slight doll-like look to them. There's not much of an expression in the faces. Thyssen are quite well known for that. But the paint application's really nice. She's got a little bit of rouge on the cheeks there to make her look a bit more flushed. The lipstick is nice and glossy, as are the eyes. It's a very clean paint app, but I would expect nothing less from Tbleague Thyssen. Okay, and this is just her straight out of the box. I've put the head on, and I've kept all the armor off because we're going to take a quick look at that in a minute. But straight out of the box, she looks very nice. I think she's a very cool looking figure. I actually really like the way that she looks just now. She's got the breastplate on. She's got this piece of like weird pleather fabric just there to separate, but it's separate from this part and this part. You can see that the skirt is the same fabric as the upper body here, which is actually quite nice and uniform. She's got these stockings on. The leg armor is already on there to help with the boots. She comes with a buttload of armor, and this is the kind of figure where, because Tbleague know that people part these figures out like mad, and most of them actually get separated and sold on eBay, they actually keep all the armor off and keep it in the box so that when people open this up, they can quickly take the armor out and then just flog it all separately. So what ends up being a slight pain in the butt for us is really quite handy for all the sellers and all the people who want some of the figure but not all of it. And it also allows you to customize exactly the way you want to without having to remove stuff. You just get to put what you want on the figure and that's it. Okay, let's quickly have a look at all the armor pieces and then we'll actually get her dressed and sorted, ready for battle. Okay, so this is the neck and shoulder armor. I'm not very well versed on armor and, you know, historical accuracy and things like that. I think this is a fantasy figure, but I think it's supposed to take some sort of influences from things like maybe Roman and Britannic armors and things like that. But also at the same time, a lot of people have been saying that it looks a little bit like one of the characters from Berserk. I don't know if you've seen Berserk. I have. It's a Berserk, the Golden Age, the 3 movies. By the end of those 3 films, I was properly depressed. They're really good stories, and you get really invested in the characters. But then what happens at the end, just it's like a gut punch. So yeah, you end up trying to find out what happens after those movies, just to try and get some sort of happy ending, because they do not end happy. Anyway, spoilers, but this is the neck and shoulder armor here. Looks pretty nice. It's got a nice reflective sort of shimmery, brassy, goldy shine to it. It's got loads of dark wash in there to highlight all the tiny little details with all the rivets. It's even got some cotton fabric in there to represent the ties. So yeah, that looks really nice. Here's the helmet that she wears. The visor does come down and it can show the eyes through there. It's nice and cool. I really like the weathered look. It's very dark and it's got some nice metallic reflections in there. Lots of little rivets. Very nicely detailed armor. Again, it can flip back up if you want to show her face off. It's got this really cool sort of long hair piece at the back. But I reckon that's going to get fuzzy over the years, so you might want to get some sort of product in there to try and get it to stay still. And there comes the knee armor. Goes on there. I think just like that. Which looks really nice. Again, they're all the same sort of metallic finish, although some pieces have a little bit of sort of like blood splatter on there, which is really cool. Here are the elbow protectors. At least I think they're elbow protectors, maybe shoulder protectors. I'm going to have a look and figure out where these go, but yeah. Again, it's another piece of armor that looks really nice. And then we've got these forearm pieces, and this is where they've put the blood. And it looks quite cool, however the blood does look a little bit brushed on there. You know, it just looks like someone's done that with a brush rather than actually it being a bit of blood splatter. But if you really wanted to, you could get some, you know, some red paint and maybe some Tamiya clear red, mix them together and then just sort of get tiny little flicks onto the armor even more to make it look more bloody. My only gripe here is that they are pleather straps. However, they are going to look really cool on the figure once they're on, and if you had elastic bands, they'd be quite obvious around the back. So, you know, aesthetic wise, it wouldn't look as good. And here's the shoulder armor. Feels pretty nice. It's quite sturdy. This is plastic, it's not pleather, which is really nice. The less pleather on figures now, the happier I am, just because I know just how much it degrades. So I'm more than happy when they make all the belts and buckles out of plastic and things that will actually last. And here are the hands. Quite nice and dainty, but they're all fully armoured up. I really like that sort of metallic flecking in there. It looks really weathered, it looks worn and tired. Looks used, but it also looks really awesome. I like all the details in the fingers with all the rivets, so that you can see when she bends her hand, you can see those rivets would actually work. And then on the inside, it looks like a sort of leather glove with some straps on the inside strapping the outer armour to the hand. And they've even blood splattered some of these, and these are like the weapon holding hands. Speaking of weapons, voila, this is her lance. And that works much better than maybe the slight blood brushing on the forearm gauntlets. These are in actual fact sort of, there is a clear red in there with a dark red sort of mixing together. Really bloody and suitable, and I really like the design of this. It actually looks like it's sort of like a dragon spear or something like that. Very detailed, and they've even gone in and they've kept that sort of spotty sort of metallic finish all the way through. So some bit areas are darker than others, some are dirtied up, Some are more silver, some are more gold. Looks really cool. There's some nice details on the end there as well. However, there is one thing she doesn't come with, and that was the massive sword that they showed in the promo pics. Now, if you paid attention to the promo pics, you could see that there was a little caveat at the bottom saying, does not include the sword. However, I reckon there'll be a lot of people that didn't notice that, and they are going to think that this figure comes with that really big sort of berserk sword that she carries in some of the photos. And I think that was a little bit unfair of them to do that, because they must have known that some people were going to use this figure as a berserk replacement for the female character from that anime and manga. I can't actually remember her name right now, it's not coming to me. But yeah, there was definitely a few people who were saying, oh, she looks like a berserk. I think she looks slightly more like a Joan of Arc, but that's just my take on the figure. However, yeah, there was a lot of people that were actually interested in this for like a sort of berserk replacement. If you were looking forward to getting her with that big ass sword, sorry man, she doesn't come with it. And one of the small gripes I've actually got with this figure is that it doesn't come with a stand. A lot of Tbleague figures do tend to come with a special edition, and they usually get a really big stand. My Red Sonja Steampunk came with a really cool base, and if you paid a little bit more, a lot of the other figures do come with really cool bases, including the Red Sonja ones. But this one unfortunately comes with nothing. There is no exclusive version, it's just this figure and this figure only. But overall, I really like the accessories. I think everything that she comes with looks really cool. It's very well painted, very well designed, and I'm looking forward to getting her all fully kitted out, because this figure is going to look awesome. Okay, actually, just before we get her all kitted out, let's have a look at the figure itself before she's all fully kitted up. We can't see actually all the details in here. Really like this armor chest piece. It looks really cool. She's got this really sort of cool rope piece that goes across the tamales and then across the back. You see she's still got that sort of really nice metallic weathered detail in that plate. Really cool details and rivets all the way around the top. I'm really impressed by all these little details they're putting into these figures. I love that strap there. And again, not pleather, solid plastic, which I'm more than happy with now. I'm not as happy with this waist garment piece here. It looks really cool, but it feels a bit pleathery, sort of vinyl-y. It's got some really cool ropes there. It looks like a bit like corsety at the back. Very nice texture all the way through it. Nice black wash. Gives it a sort of look like it's some sort of weird chainmail. Really cool sort of fabric skirt. Really darkly weathered. Looks like it's gone through some stuff. However, even though she is fully sort of armoured up, Tbleague do try to show off the flesh a little bit where they can, even if it's not practical for actual battle, but never mind. Yeah, she does have an undergarment under there. No, I'm not showing you. But you can see the stockings there. And they always do this with the Tbleague silicone bodies. They always have this sort of nice sort of muscle tone in them. That looks really cool. However, this figure is a lot more covered up than some of their older figures, so you won't be able to see a lot of that muscle tone. However, it is there, and it is as articulated as all their other figures. Now, it will get a little bit more restricted once all the armour is on there. You can see you can get her into all sorts of different poses. You can bring the arm in really far. Shoulders can come right up. They can go right out. Hands are on a wrist peg so they can swivel all the way round. It is a slight ball joint, so there is a little bit of pivot in there, but not a lot. There's loads of torso articulation. Going forward, going back, left, right. The silicone bodies are great for posing, just because there is a severe lack of restriction, because they are super flexible. The legs can go all the way up. Like, it's crazy. These things are just so superposable. The only thing that's going to, like I said, restrict it is the armor. But if you keep the armor off, there's no end to the poses you can get out of this figure. It is a typical superposable Tbleague figure. There is a really generous amount of ankle pivot there. I'm quite impressed by that. And there is a little bit of forward and back there on the foot. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that. She's going to be really cool in the collection once she's all fully kitted out and posed up. Okay, and here she is with all the armor put on. Some of the bits are a little bit fiddly, so you have to set apart some time just so you can concentrate on getting some of those bits on. Some of the straps can be a bit fiddly. It's a silicone body. It causes friction when you're actually trying to put some of the armor on. So you have to slowly, you know, work things up the leg and things like that, just to get the armor in the right places. But this bit isn't like a chest area piece, like I said before. It's actually part of the skirt. And now that I know where it goes, it looks great. It looks fantastic there. It really sort of adds to the whole armored torso design. Okay, some of the gripes with getting the armor on is that helmet is really tight to the head. It is really hard to get on. You've got to flex it around to get it squeezed on there, and the hair can actually cause some problems. So you might want to warm that up before you put it on, just so you can flex out the sides of it so it slots on a lot easier. But as you can see, when all the armor is on and everything, she looks really cool. And this helmet is actually 3 parts. So what you want to do is lift this bit up here, because it actually opens up and removes away from the eyes here, and then lift this bit up here, and that reveals her face. Turn it back round to the side, you can actually see all these little bits of hair strands hanging down. Again, I'm going to have to try and use some product or something to get these all tight together, and maybe get it closer into the body so that it actually sits a little bit more natural, because at the moment it puffs out a little bit. And here's another pose of her just holding the lance to the side. Again, I don't have the sword, so I can't really show her posing with a really big, massive, cool sword like they advertised in the promo pictures. I know they said in the appendices at the bottom of a lot of the pictures, sword is not included. But then again, you know, why include it in the photos in the first place? That's what I don't get. You should have just made the sword, produced a few more, and stuck it in with this figure. It would have made everybody happy. What you do get is really nice. Tbleague are really great for their armors. That's what they're well known for, and that's what they've done with this thing. They've made it absolutely stunning. And with all the pieces all put on her like that, she looks fully armored up. She almost looks a little bit like a sort of like a fantasy knight that fights dragons and things like that. This could be like a dragon spear. Who else could use this figure? You could easily nab the body and the armor and try and work, you know, like a Lady Sif for your Thor figures, and then maybe a Joan of Arc. Or like I said previously, the Berserk figure. Now, oh god, that anime. Whew. Now, I've seen a lot of anime. I grew up when sort of Manga Entertainment were around, and they released loads of anime, and some of it was pretty dark. But nothing really affected me as much as the Berserk Golden Age story. That was really twisted. Like, by the end of that, you're so depressed by the end of that anime. You just, like, I had to go get the manga just to see the continuation of the story after the Golden Age arc, because I wanted to know. I needed to know if, you know, there was some happiness in this world, because my god, the guy that wrote that's dark. I mean, George R.R. Martin hasn't got anything on that guy. But yeah, me personally, I absolutely just love this as a collector's piece. It's beautifully designed. All the armor's very well made. It all fits the figure perfectly. I really like the way these shoulder pieces sit down with the breastplate here, down with the torso bit. It then works into the skirt area. You've then got these sort of knee guards, shin guards, the boots. The whole thing just works in tandem to make a really nice looking figure. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you do me a favour now, if you can get the fuck out of my cave. Oh, hang on a sec. What's this? Gripping hand. Weird little gripping hand here. Oh, now I get why they put that warning on the instruction book. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to take this figure into the bathroom just to check the humidity and stuff. Make sure the humidity doesn't cause it any problem. Okay, guys, bye bye. There's an ice cream van outside. This is what I have to put up with when I'm trying to film. They literally pull up outside the house. Ah, it's finished. Back on with the review.